All right, so are you ready to really kind of dive deep today? I think we're going to go deep.
I'm ready.
Buckle up because we are tackling the future of learning,
Okay.
but more specifically, what happens when AI can just teach you anything, instantly, like
Yeah.
right now?
Yeah.
Is that the dream
Yeah.
or is that the beginning of the end for universities as we know them?
Ooh.
So the article that we're exploring today that goes into this is called If Students Have Your ILOs and an AI Chatbot, What's Left for Universities to Offer?
Okay.
By Nicholas Bourbaki. And so we're just going to jump right in.
Yeah.
So one of the things that the author talks about is this really interesting analogy of like a park.
Okay.
And there's paved paths, and then there are dirt paths.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of students are starting to realize that they can kind of get where they need to go using those dirt paths.
Right.
And AI is giving them the tools to kind of say, oh, okay, well, I don't necessarily need to follow the paved path, which would be like the traditional university route. I can kind of cut through the brush and use AI to, get to a place where I kind of get the gist.
Yeah.
But is that really good enough?
Right. Well, it's interesting because part of what makes those dirt paths so appealing is that, like you said, it's a shortcut.
Yeah.
It can be faster. It can even be cheaper.
Yeah.
And a lot of times students are finding that it can be just as effective.
Hmm.
But I think that's the question we really need to ask.
Yeah.
Is good enough actually good enough?
Right? What are we missing out on
Exactly.
if we just focus on speed and efficiency?
Right, and that's where I think this article gets really insightful because it argues that even if these AI tutors become like super advanced,
Yeah.
there are certain aspects of the traditional university experience they just can't replicate.
Like what?
Like think about the mentorship you might get from a professor who like really challenges your assumptions.
Mm.
Or those aha moments you have when you're bouncing ideas off of classmates.
Yeah.
You're not going to get that same spark from just interacting with an AI.
It's funny because the article talks about this vibe and buzz
Yeah.
that you get.
Absolutely.
And I remember that, from my
Yeah.
university days. Like that you don't get that
You know,
from a screen.
exactly. And I think the article is really pushing universities to lean into those strengths.
Yeah.
Instead of being afraid of AI, they need to double down on those things that AI can't replicate.
So instead of it being the demise of universities, maybe it's more like,
It's an evolution.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a push for them to become these vibrant learning ecosystems that actually complement AI rather than try to compete with it.
So what would that look like?
Well, one interesting idea the author floats is this concept of universities as assessment verticals.
Okay.
So imagine you master a subject with your AI tutor at home,
Right.
and then you go to a university to get that knowledge officially certified.
So it's almost like,
It's a validation
Yeah.
of what you've already learned.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe university apocalypse is off the table. But this assessment hub idea, I need a minute to wrap my head around that.
Yeah, it's a pretty radical shift.
What would that even look like?
Well, the article doesn't get into too many specifics,
Okay.
but imagine a world where instead of just traditional exams,
Yeah.
you could demonstrate your skills through like projects or portfolios or even simulations. The focus would be on proving what you can actually DO.
Right. Not just what you've memorized.
Exactly.
That is interesting.
Yeah, and think about the potential for collaboration.
Yeah.
Universities could partner with tech companies
Mhm.
to offer like micro-credentialing programs in these cutting-edge AI fields.
That makes sense.
So students can gain specialized skills that are in high demand.
Right. So it's like you get the best of both worlds. You get the flexibility and like the personalization of AI learning.
Right.
But then you also have the credibility and the rigor of an actual university credential.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah,
But what happens to the traditional subjects, like the humanities?
that's a great question. And it's one that the article doesn't really address directly,
Yeah.
but I think it highlights a bigger point about what a university education is supposed to offer.
Okay.
It's not just about learning specific knowledge or skills.
Right.
It's about developing those critical thinking, communication, and problem-solving skills
Yeah.
that you can apply in any field.
So those core competencies are
Exactly.
still going to be in demand.
Absolutely. And that's where the human element comes back into play.
Yeah.
AI can teach you facts and figures,
Right.
but it can't teach you how to think critically, how to analyze information, or how to communicate your ideas effectively. That's where human educators still have a vital role to play.
So maybe universities become these incubators for higher order thinking,
Yeah.
and AI handles more of the foundational knowledge transfer.
Exactly. It's about leveraging the strengths of both
Yeah.
to create a more dynamic and personalized learning experience
I'm picturing myself brushing up on astrophysics with my AI tutor in the morning and then heading to the university in the afternoon for like a lively debate about the ethics of artificial consciousness.
I love that image.
Yeah.
That really captures the potential of this hybrid model.
Yeah,
We're not talking about replacing universities. We're talking about reimagining them
I like that.
for a world where AI is just part of the learning journey.
Yeah. Okay, I'm getting excited about the possibilities now.
Me too. But before we get too carried away, I think we need to think about the students who are already choosing those dirt paths.
You mean the ones who are ditching the lecture halls and just relying on AI for their education?
Exactly. Are they getting a comparable experience?
That's a good question.
Yeah. It's still early days, and we don't have a lot of data yet.
Yeah,
But I think this article raises some important questions about the social and developmental aspects of education that we can't ignore.
right. Are they missing out on that vibe and buzz
Exactly.
that shapes not just what they learn, but who they become?
That's such a crucial point.
Yeah.
Think about all the informal learning that happens outside of the classroom.
Yeah.
Study groups, late-night debates in the dorms.
Yeah.
Even just hanging out with people who share your interests.
I learned as much, if not more,
Right.
from those late night study sessions and those dorm room debates as I did from any professor.
Absolutely. And those moments are not just valuable for learning.
Yeah.
They're essential for personal growth and development.
It's like AI can give you the information,
Right.
but it can't replicate those moments of spontaneous connection
Absolutely.
and intellectual sparring.
Exactly. They help us develop social skills, empathy,
Mm.
the ability to navigate complex social dynamics,
Mm.
all skills that are crucial for success in life.
So even if you're mastering quantum physics with your AI tutor, you might still be missing out on some pretty crucial life lessons if you're not engaging in these messy, unpredictable, often hilarious human interactions.
Precisely. And that's why even as AI becomes more integrated into education, I think there will always be a need for these spaces where people can come together to learn, debate, collaborate, and yes, even
Yeah.
just hang out and be human.
Okay, so maybe university apocalypse is the wrong framing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's more like university metamorphoses.
I like that.
Yeah?
It captures that sense of both continuity and change.
Yeah.
The core values of education, the pursuit of knowledge, the development of critical thinking, the fostering of human connection, those remain constant.
Right.
But the ways in which we achieve those goals are evolving, and AI is a powerful catalyst for that evolution.
It is exciting.
Yeah,
And it's a little bit daunting.
it is.
But I think you're right. This is a metamorphosis, not an extinction event.
Exactly.
And it's up to all of us to shape what that new form looks like.
Absolutely. And that brings us to a really important question for you, the listener. What truly unique value can your chosen field or area of interest offer that AI can't replicate?
Okay, wow, that's a big question.
It is.
It really makes you think
Yeah.
about those irreplaceable skills.
Right.
You know, in a world that's becoming more and more dominated by AI.
Yeah, think about it this way.
Yeah.
Maybe you're a musician.
Okay.
AI can compose some pretty catchy tunes these days.
Yeah, I've heard some of them. It's pretty impressive.
But can it capture that, like, raw emotion
Yeah.
of a live performance?
Yeah.
The connection between the artist and the audience?
No, I don't think so.
Probably not.
Yeah, and what about teachers?
Right.
AI could deliver a personalized lesson
Yeah.
to each student,
Uh-huh.
but can it offer like that encouraging smile
Yeah.
when a student finally grasps a concept?
Or that knowing look that says, I believe in you.
Yeah,
I
right.
don't think so.
That human connection.
That's what makes this whole conversation about the future of learning so fascinating.
Yeah.
It's not about one replacing the other.
Right.
It's about figuring out how they can work together
Yeah.
to create something even better than what we have now.
It's like we're at this crossroads, right? And we can choose a path that leads to a future where AI helps us become more human,
More connected.
more creative.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's not about fearing AI.
Right.
It's about using it to unlock our potential.
Yeah. As learners, as thinkers, as human beings.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
The article also talks about publishers using AI.
Okay.
Imagine an AI tutor that's basically a digital version of the textbook author,
Wow.
able to answer your questions,
All right.
tailor explanations to your specific needs.
So you could actually like have a conversation with the textbook.
It would be like having a personalized tutor available 24/7.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
It's not about fearing AI.
Right.
It's about using it to unlock our full potential
As learners, as thinkers.
as humans.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the future of learning,
Yeah.
I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay.
What are you going to do differently tomorrow, knowing what you know now?
Yeah. Will you learn a new skill that works well with AI?
Will you deepen your connections with other people in your field?
Will you take some time to think about what makes your work, your passion, uniquely human?
Because in a world where AI is always evolving,
Right.
the most important thing you can do is to never stop learning. Keep growing.
Yeah. And keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Absolutely. And remember, the future of learning is not something that just happens to us.
It's something that we create.
Together.
So let's make it happen. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into the future of learning. And until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, keep learning.